Who's a Burmese political refugee and democracy campaigner. And Wayne, worth pointing out that your father is in prison still at the moment in Burma.
Yes, he is in prison and serving the 65 years and 6 months in prison since 2007.
Right. So what does this announcement today do for you? I mean, what's your response to what you've heard?
From my point of view, I don't think this election will bring any kind of change that we need. And because, you know, the 2008 constitution has designed by the regime to maintain the dictatorship power, and I don't think from my father's point of view, and there will be no release of political prisoner, or there will be no guarantee for my father. So this election means nothing to me. Right.
When you say nothing, I mean, what then would you say to all those parties? There are pushing 40 of them, in fact, who are registered, who are going to field candidates, albeit not necessarily across the country. But what would you say to them? Go ahead?
There are different kind of, different point of views from the different parties. There are more than 42 parties taking part. And from their campaigning point of view, they can't do anything at all. The regime still has power, and they can't let those parties campaign and do, demonstration or peaceful protest for their campaigning at all. So even though the other party will win, the dictatorship still will be in power.
What would you say to those parties? Don't do it. I mean, the NLD is disbanded. They're not going to stand. They'd have boycotted anyway. Would you have supported their boycott?
I don't say that I support it because everybody has their own point of view. But people think that they still got hope if they will be in Parliament, and some people think it's no point taking part in the elections. A different point of view.
I suppose that's the point, isn't it? Yeah. You either legitimise it by taking part, or you give yourself no chance to stand up and be counted by not taking part. And I just wonder, from your perspective, what is the best route? What should people do? Should people vote?
Yeah, even if you vote or no vote, there wouldn't be any change at all. So from my point of view, is what international community can do, because, Security Council, they can put pressure on the regime to, release all the political prisoners. We've been asking for that for years now, but they haven't released any single political prisoners.
Yeah, it's been a 20-year wait for another election. It looks like there is going to be one this time, but I just wonder, again, from your point of view, you can't have seen an awful lot of your father in your lifetime. What is your perspective on the future? Will you ever go back to Burma?
Because I'm politically active in this country, so I can't go back to Burma. And I'm 21 years old now, but I had only 9 years' time of living my time and spending my time with my father. But now my father is in prison. He can't speak out. So for me, my duty is to speak out and be my father's voice and be the political prisoners. More than 2,100 political prisoners in Burma. I can be their voice to speak out and, campaign for freedom and democracy in Burma.
And doing that from beyond the borders, of course. What is your message to Western nations at this point? I mean, we've had huge focus on Burma a couple of years ago. Things fade, don't they?
Yes.
The spotlight comes off again. How do you feel about that now?
I think most of the people in Western countries, they don't really realize that they have, in their hand, they have freedom. It is actually the key to open the door of human rights and freedom in Burma. They can actually use, you can actually use your freedom to help us for our country to have freedom and democracy in Burma.
Okay, Wayne, well, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much.